Hello and assalamu alaikum viewers. I hope you are fine and happy by the grace of Allah. Our today's lecture is the last of the psych series of lectures, and it would be about friends and opponents' point of view about you and the OPI test. Well, dear members, this today's lecture would be in English, and I think it is a good experiment. And I would like to have your views after the lecture that whether you are understanding this way of communication, which is English, or we should shift back to our old medium of communication that was Urdu. Today's lecture would not be a lengthy one, it would be a short lecture because we have only three topics of this psych test series. And today is the last of the lecture of the psych test series. And I hope after this you would be able to understand fully that what all is required in psychological tests and how you have to attempt it, especially the approach which I have told you in my previous lectures, that what approach you should adopt in these tests, that is the main thing. Well, now coming over to the first part of our lecture, which is friends and opponents' point of view about you. Now, first of all, you need to understand and you need to think in your mind that what is this about? Why is ISSB or psychologist asking you this question? That what is the opinion of your friend or your opponent, which is also known as enemy, about you? How do they think about you? So let me make it easy for you that what is the purpose of this question and what is the intent behind it. Basically, ISSB and psychologists wants to ask your merits and demerits, your strong points and weak points. So they have rephrased this question into friends and opponents' point of view about you. It is a very important part of this psychological test series, and it would describe your own personality. So be careful while writing this answer and qualities or merits or demerits. Mainly, there would be five merits or demerits which would be asked about you, and mainly this is about your personality, and that how do you see yourself, how do you grade yourself, how do you analyze your personality, are you honest in giving the opinion that these are your actual merits or strengths, or demerits or weaknesses. So let me further divide this question of friends and opponents' point of view about you in two parts. In first part is your friend's point of view about you. Well, once it would be asked, it means that your merits are asked, that what are your strong points, how does your friends see you. So for this, you have to write actual things and actual strengths of your personality. For example, if you are hardworking, you must write that my friends think that I am hardworking, I am obedient, I am motivated, I am confident, I am patriot, I am respectful, and I help others, I am cooperative, I am spirited, and once I decide that I have to do a task, I do it at any cost, and I don't like to give it up easily. And so many habits and strengths like this, these are the strengths of your personality. And further, you can say, I can endure pressure, I can do well in so many certain things, and I have the passion, and I have the will, I have the determination, and I have that dynamism and influencing ability and leadership qualities in me, which I think can be of good use. But be very careful and mindful of one thing, that while you write these things, and this should also match your personality. Because I have narrated so many qualities in my previous voice note, and it doesn't mean that you have to write all those in your answer. But be mindful and be honest and give your candid opinion, that whatever you can justify, whatever you can display on ground or on field, and if you're asked in the interview that you have written this in your merits or demerits, so how do you prove it? So you would be able to give logical answers to that. So that would be your strength. Otherwise, if you would write so many things that I am a Superman, Batman, I am an Iron Man, and I am a Transformer, such like stupid things, then you would not be able to justify those things on ground. And once you would be asked to justify or prove those things, you would not be able to do it. And the examiner would certainly rectify that you have certainly lied, or you are coached or guided so badly or poorly that you have simply ruined your personality, and you have just developed a fake and robotic personality inside you, which have ultimately destroyed you. Well, now coming over to the second part of this question, which is that what is your opponent's opinion about you? Well, in this part, the examiner or the ISSB or the psychologist wants to ask that what are your weaknesses and what are your demerits. Uh, So they have rephrased this question like that, that what does your enemy think about you? So you can easily understand that enemies don't praise you so much. They won't appreciate you. They would like to find your weaknesses and they would like to grade you down. So in this way, they are asking your demerits and you have to describe your demerits. Now let me tell you, let me elaborate and let me describe that what all can be demerits of a personality. Well, the demerits of personality are not those which you are familiar with, and you are taught with so many things, and you are told so many things that this is a demerit of a personality, this is a weakness of a personality. Write this. Don't write any negative thing. Don't write any alarming or grave thing that would ultimately lessen your chances of recommendation. It is nothing like that. Let me give you a very good tip that what all you can write or of which type demerit you can write in your answer that would be considered as a demerit weakness. First of all, you need to shun away this idea from your mind. You need to eliminate this thought from your mind that stupid examples of demerits and weaknesses should be narrated or written in ISSB. For example, what are those? Let me tell this thing to you in Urdu a little bit so that you can understand better. For example, जिस तरह आपको कहा जाता है कि आप ये वाले डिमेरिट्स वहाँ पे जाके लिखें, कोई नेगेटिव ना लिखें कि मैं चाय बहुत ज़्यादा पीता हूँ, मैं सोता ज़्यादा हूँ, कभी कभी मुझसे नमाज मिस हो जाती है और कभी कभी जो है वो मैं फिल्में ज़्यादा देख लेता हूँ, मैं खाता ज़्यादा हूँ, मुझे भूख ज़्यादा लगती है। इस तरह की जो चीज़ें होती हैं ना, दीज आर स्टूपिड डीमेरिट्स एंड दिस इज़ नॉट बेसिकली अ डीमेरिट ऑफ अ पर्सनैलिटी। ये बेसिकली आपकी हैबिट्स हैं। ठीक है, हैबिट और पर्सनैलिटी ट्रेट में बड़ा फ़र्क होता है। पर्सनैलिटी क्या है? शख्सियत के अंदर की खामी। ठीक है, ये इसमें से कोई भी ऐसी चीज़ नहीं जो आपकी शख्सियत के अंदर की खामी हो। ठीक है, तो आप जब इस तरह की चीज़ें लिखते हैं और हर कोई यही लिख रहा होता है तो पढ़ने वाले को समझ आ जाती है कि इसने बुरे तरीके से रट्टा लगाया हुआ है या किसी एकेडमी से सीख कर आया है या किसी आईएसएसबी देने वाले ने इसको इस तरह समझाया कि ये वाली चीज़ें लिखो ताकि इसमें से कोई भी ऐसी चीज़ ना निकले कि तुम्हारा वो डीमेरिट लगे या तुम्हारी वो कमज़ोरी लगे। तो इस तरह की चीज़ें आपने बिल्कुल नहीं लिखनी वहाँ पर जाके। Now you must be thinking that what all can be the demerits of a personality or negative traits, or you can say the weaknesses of personality. Well, let me tell you one tip for that, and please try to follow it. That must write that flaw or weakness of your personality which can be taken both ways. Now, what do I mean by that? By that, I mean that you must write that quality which can be positive or negative also, but it can be taken into positive thinking also. Now, what are those qualities and what are those merits or demerits? Let me explain you. For example, if you write that I'm slightly underconfident, it is a very good demerit or weakness of a personality because everybody is not very much confident all the times in his life. Being slightly underconfident is no issue. You can say that I am slightly aggressive, I am a bit casual, I need some time, at times I need some time to understand things, and I don't give up easily. So these are those things which can be also be converted into positive qualities and which are not hardcore negative traits of personality. You can further add on that you can say that at times I need to be more influencing, at times I need to be more responsible. You need to understand, gentlemen, that all these things they can be improved or changed. So please write those things which can be easily improved in your personality. Write those personality flaws or weaknesses. Don't write that weakness which can never be improved. Fine. Don't write something grave. Don't write something stupid which cannot be improved or which cannot help you in your recommendation. I hope you have understood the complete idea and approach that what are merits and what are demerits of personality. So please try to write those. Don't write any stupid thing. Don't write anything which is circulating in the market. You don't try to write that I spend a little more money, I eat more, I drink more water, I take more tea, something like that. Okay, please don't write those, otherwise you will be in trouble and you won't have good chances of selection. But for writing your merits and demerits, you first need to have a very good analysis of your own personality. After that, you would be able to completely identify that what are your strengths and what are your weaknesses, and then you have to write those. Okay, because every individual has a different personality. His merits or demerits would be different from the other person. Please don't try to copy anyone else's merits or demerits into yourself, because once you won't be able to justify those or display those in practical field or at the ground or at the time of interview, then you would be in clear trouble. Well, I hope you have understood the concept of merits and demerits. Now, coming over to the second part of our lecture, that is OPI test. I have also shared few photographs and pictures from which you can see guidance that what is an OPI test. Basically, it stands for Officer Personality Inventory Test. And in the picture which I have given you, it has also described OPI as an interview, written interview test, something like that. Okay, now let me tell you what is this and how important is that. Well, OPI test is something different from verbal, non-verbal, or mechanical aptitude test or other psychological test series. It is basically based on your basically based to test your personality. It is based on simple questions, and few of examples of these questions I have shared in the picture which I have shared above. So please try to read it. There are basically 40 minutes for this test, and you are given a question which is a simple question related to your daily life, or it is connected with your personality. And there are 6 to 7 options given under that, out of which you have to tick one. Let me tell you the technique for that. If you know a thing or some answer very clearly, go for something strong. By this I mean strong answer. Fine. The strong answer starts from option number one, and the last option is the weakest of the answers. So you can start by that. If you think that you are not very confident or you're not very sure that what should be the answer of this, you can even stay neutral or you can stay on the lower side. But please try to judge it by yourself. For example, if someone says that at times lying is, and the answers are good, very good, not good, or neutral, or slightly good, something like that. So you simply say that at times lying is not good, but it depends that which kind of question is framed. For example, there is some other question framed that sleeping more is very good, bad, something like that. So you can also say that it is okay, good, no problem, sleeping more is no problem, but if you have time. So there are certain questions which would be related to your personality, and they would be checking your personality directly by that. And it for this, do you don't have to prepare anything, but you have to give direction to your mind that you don't go for aggressive answers. Fine, aggressive answers are the one which are extreme, um, which are on the extreme side. For example, first option or last option are on the extreme sides. Try to stay very normal. Try to stay flexible and try to go for safer options, which are almost in the mid. Fine. So that would be the better option if you take those. So you would have in the better chances to qualify in this test also. In OPI test, whatever he is asking about you. It doesn't matter how the question is phrased. So there are options that strongly agree, agree, slightly agree, disagree, partially agree, do not agree, strongly disagree. Fine. So try to stay almost at the middle bracket where there is agree or slightly agree or slightly disagree. Don't go for very strong options if you are not very clear about this, because uh, that is the test of your personality again, and it will ultimately affect whatever he's asking about you basically. So I hope you have understood what is an OPI test now. तो मेंबर्स, आज का लेक्चर आपको कैसा लगा ये ज़रूर बताइएगा, और मुझे ये अपने ओपिनियन से ज़रूर आगाह करें कि जो लेक्चर मैंने इंग्लिश में डिलीवर किया है कि आपको इजीली समझ आ गया है कि नहीं आ गया। या कुछ मेंबर्स अभी भी अगर कहते हैं कि मैं उर्दू में लेक्चर डिलीवर किया करूं, तो मेरे लिए उर्दू या इंग्लिश किसी में लेक्चर डिलीवर करना प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, बट इट डिपेंड्स कि आपको कौन सी चीज़ बेहतर समझ आ रही है। मेरे लिए इंपॉर्टेंट ये है कि आपको कैसे और किस तरीके से चीज़ बेहतर समझ आए। अगर आपको उर्दू से बेहतर समझ आती है तो मैं आपको उर्दू में ही लेक्चर डिलीवर करता रहूँगा, और इंग्लिश आप अपने तौर पर प्रैक्टिस कर सकते हैं। उसके लिए आप मेरे जो चैनल में वीडियोस हैं इंग्लिश से रिलेटेड वीडियो, इंग्लिश लर्निंग से रिलेटेड टिप्स उसमें दी गई हैं, आप उसको प्लीज़ सबसे पहले तो चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करें सारे, ताकि आप वो वीडियोस देख सकें तमाम, और ख़ास तौर पे उसमें जिस लेक्चर हमने जो देना हो तो उससे रिलेटेड वीडियो भी होती है, वो अगर आपने पहले देखी हो तो आपको लेक्चर जो है ना बहुत क्लियर और अच्छे तरीके से समझ आता है। तो प्लीज़ मुझे अपने वो कमेंट्स लाजमी दें। मैं अभी ग्रुप को ओपन करने लगा हूँ थोड़ी देर के लिए मैसेजेस के लिए, तो अपने कमेंट्स से मुझे लाजमी जो है वो आगाह करें अपनी ओपिनियन से, कि हम इंग्लिश में ही लेक्चर्स को कंटिन्यू करें या हम फर्दर इसको उर्दू में करें, या हम इसको इस तरह कर लें कि इंग्लिश उर्दू को मिक्स कर लें, कुछ पार्ट में इंग्लिश में कर लिया करूँ फिर इसको उर्दू में भी आपको थोड़ा सा समझा दिया करूँ, या आप चाहते हैं कि कम्प्लीटली उर्दू में करें। क्योंकि मेरा मकसद ये है कि आपको समझ आनी चाहिए, चाहे वो कोई भी लैंग्वेज हो, इंग्लिश या उर्दू। तो थैंक यू वेरी मच, अपना ख्याल रखिएगा, अल्लाह हाफिज़।